What's going on? We back, Goodfella Sports TV, with a really, I guess dope video, depending on if you like it or not. And shout out to everybody holding us down, man. Shout out to all the brothers out there putting in work on this boxing ish, man. I always take a different perspective, a different angle, a different type of video, man. So always changing the subject up. No more redundant boxing talk, unless it's like fight week or something like that, or it's very important, but not too much of it. But why isn't Canelo Alvarez being held to a standard? Why is Canelo Alvarez given a pass for failing 2 tests for clenbuterol, then getting a suspension from the Nevada State Athletic Commission for 6 months without a random drug test, and then be able to come back versus Triple G and have superhuman S-type stamina? Why is nobody talking about that? Why does Canelo Alvarez always get a pass when it comes to Andrade, the Charlos, and not fighting the competition, dropping belts, moving up and down? We've seen Triple G take a hit for dropping his IBF belt. We've seen other fighters, get killed. We've seen it. But for some reason, Canelo Alvarez is immune to any backlash. And you know what, man? The Mexican fans, they gonna ride with him. You know what I'm saying? I had one guy told me, my homies told me, like, I don't care, I'm riding with him regardless, and that's cool. But why is the brothers giving him a pass? Why is the Puerto Ricans giving him a pass? And I'm not saying in general. You have something out there, trust me, I've seen some out there. But why are all these pages giving him a pass? Why we talking about AJ? We talking about Keith Thurman? We talking about other fighters that seem to be ducking. You talk about Sean Porter. We talk about all these dudes, but this is a serious matter, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you why Canelo can get away with not fighting the best. So if you hang around, it's a reason for that, and it's going to fall on other fighters as well. So we're gonna talk about that. But you hear people say, "Oh, Floyd was juicing his whole career," but there's no VADA statement, there's no USADA statement put out there. There's no actual facts. There's nothing but rumors and opinionated articles about it. But those same Canelo people, or Canelo fans, or some of them will bring that fact up. They would talk about Earl Spence's chest. They would talk about his titties and how Earl Spence is on juice and this and that. They would tell you the Charlos is on juice. They tell you all these individual fighters are on juice. But Canelo popped dirty, and all of a sudden they tail between their legs. All of a sudden Canelo popped dirty, and he come back with a 6-month suspension, without a VADA random drug test. And then didn't enroll in VADA right away, waited. And people don't talk about that. And then he came back versus Triple G and didn't get tired. Nobody talked about that but Teddy Atlas. That's the only person. Me and Teddy Atlas talked about it. That's it. Everybody gave this dude a pass, but you out here killing fighters that are clean. Joshua does do VADA. You are killing fighters like Wilder, those Wilder detractors and haters and decafs. Killing Wilder, he's in VADA. Killing the Charlos, they in VADA. Earl Spence is in VADA. We reported that 2 months ago. He's enrolled in VADA. But you wasn't killing the guy in Canelo Alvarez that when random drug testing came, it only came for Canelo when he got into training in the United States in San Diego. His last camp he trained in Colorado, I believe. They never tested Canelo Alvarez when he was in Mexico before. So Canelo Alvarez has been possibly, allegedly getting away with doing what he do in Mexico for years. And at one time, VADA come test him in Mexico, he get popped dirty in 2 separate tests. Why is nobody talking about that? Why is he getting rewarded with $365 million contract with the Zone, but he's a known PED offender? It's a fact. You go back to 2013, and Floyd thought he was taking something in, but Floyd just fought him. He didn't do what Golovkin did because Floyd ain't effing up his money. Floyd fought him. There's an article out there that a Nevada politician say he thought Floyd thought he was on something back then. But unlike Golovkin, and I feel Golovkin, you don't want to be going in there on an uneven playing field and whatever. He pushed for Canelo to get suspended, which ultimately didn't do any no favors because Canelo got 6 months suspension with no random drug test. Where they do that at? So he's able to do what he wanted to do, But Floyd said it back in 2013. He thought he was on something. So how long has he been on something? People just sweep it under the rug. Snow on the bluff. You know, they just sweep it like it never happened. And with this new media movement, we let it slide, bro. A lot of us let it slide. Oh, it's just, Canelo. No, he not. No, he not. No, he not. We let them have open season on all our black fighters, all our Puerto Rican fighters, all the UK fighters. You got people insinuating AJ's on steroids. You got people saying Errol Spence's on steroids. The Charlos is on steroids. You had people for years saying Manny Pacquiao was on steroids. And none of those fighters have popped dirty for a test. And say what you want to say about Manny Pacquiao. He didn't pop dirty for a test. Not saying he wasn't on nothing, but he didn't. But Canelo Alvarez got caught. The first time in years, as he been under Nevada testing, that he got tested in Mexico, he got caught. That's no coincidence. And then his suspension is 6 months, where you can come back and fight on Mexican Independence Holiday versus Triple G without a drug test for the 6 months. And at the end of the tail end of the 6 months, he re-enrolled in VADA to make the Triple G fight happen. So what type of message is that sending to the boxing world and sending to the youth? Cheaters do prosper. Oh, we can forget about it. Oh, we put water under the bridge. It's okay. You can go ahead and get a competitive advantage. And how much of a competitive advantage did he have over all his opponents? Because for years, they were saying Canelo was struggling to make weight. So how long has he been taking whatever he's been taking? The first Triple G fight, even though it was VADA drug testing there, people had their suspicions. I defended him. He passed the test. What can I say? But do you trust VADA going through the WBC? Did the WBC cover some things up? Absolutely. You supposed to say 6 months. In your sanction body, he got to take 6 month suspension with random drug testing. He must enroll in VADA if he wants to fight for our belt again. And all the sanctioned belt bodies that was included, IBF, wasn't IBF the second time, but WBC and WA, they both supposed to advocate for this dude to do random drug testing while he was suspended for the 6 months. So y'all don't find that fishy at all? And on top of it all, he gets rewarded with $365 million. And on top of that, all the fighters don't speak on it. You got Andre Rozier accusing the Charlos of cheating, but you're trying to go fight a known PED offender. Ain't that a hypocrite? Or is it ironic? Whatever you want to call it. You are trying to fight Canelo, but you bashing the Charlos and insinuating they on steroids, but you running to fight somebody that was known for failing a performance-enhancing drug test in 2 different tests. That just shows you how much of horseshit boxing really is. These boxers don't really care about you being clean or most of them you being clean or you being dirty or you on something. At the end of the day, if they see dollar signs, that's all they care about. The majority of these boxers don't care about going into fights as long as the money right. So I don't ever want to hear Golovkin or Danny Jacobs or anybody else that steps in the ring with Canelo Alvarez again, that's selling themselves out for a payday. Tell me about how they care about VADA and random drug tests in the sport of boxing. They don't. They care about the money. Floyd Mayweather included. He still fought him knowing that he was on something. It was about the money. If the money is right, these fighters will do whatever. And then after they get bested or they get robbed or they lose, whatever you want to call it, then, down the line, maybe 5 months, years, 10 years later, 20 years later, they do these interviews saying that, I thought he was on something that night. If you thought he was on something, okay, why did you take the fight? He failed the drug test twice. Mayweather said back in 2013 he felt he was on something. But all you seen was dollar signs. So then you want us to throw you a pity party after the fact. I throw you no pity party. You sold yourself out for $1. And that's just what it is. It's just what it is. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter that Golden Boy said racist emails and called Al Heyman a black Hitler. The fighters don't care about that. They don't care about that no more. Ain't no unity amongst these fighters no more. If the money right, everything is about a business, everything about a money. This dude can go in there, Ivan Drago, and if they getting 10, 15, $20 million, they'll risk it for the money. It's no more moral standards in boxing. No more. Remember that. So when we talk about these fighters ducking and swerving fighters or doing it, it's a business. When your favorite fighter who seemed to be the most caterpillar and running through fighters like a lawnmower going through grass on a hot summer day in Savannah, Georgia, and when he get on top and now it's just business, remember, money is the root of all evil and money is the root of boxing. These dudes will fight anybody for money. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. He gonna get a pass because he has a Mexican fan base, a powerful Mexican fan base, a powerful American Mexican fan base. And people going to continue to fight him because he brings life-changing money. There's no more moral standards no more. Nobody cares about if you on juice or not. Get away without a drug testing then. If you fail 2 separate tests and people think you failing, you was doing something back in 2013, you should be doing testing all year round. You should consistently be tested. When you get a pass. And then you're talking about why he's able to pick and choose and duck certain fighters and get away with it. His perception in the public is because these other fighters ain't handling their business. That's just what it is. Andrade, Charlos, they should have fought each other. Lara, he got to fight with Canelo, but they all should have fought each other and put pressure on Canelo. But Canelo was able to move up to 55, hide out there. Okay. He did just enough. He beat Trout. He beat Lara. He beat Cotto. He did just enough. He beat Golovkin. He's done just enough to be immortal. It could be said that he could just do that and ride off in his career and live off those 4 wins or 5 wins. You know, and he had a good fight. He got beat down by Mayweather. Some reason people see it as a win on the resume as far as bringing it up. It was a disgraceful loss. But those 5 or 6 fights that he had, he's immortal because of those 5 or 6 fights, because you're going to have the Errol Spence, the Terrence Crawfords fighting each other, the Keith Thurmans fighting each other, the Sean Porters fighting each other. Well, Keith Thurman and Sean did fight, but you don't have all of them trying to prove who the best at the welterweight division. You don't have the Charlos and Andrade and Lara. They never fought each other to put pressure on them. Even at middleweight, you know, Andrade, Jacobs, and Triple G not fighting him to apparently right now to put pressure on him. I mean, you go up to light heavyweight division, you got a whole bunch of old dudes. They not putting pressure. They not trying to fight each other for the most part. It's starting to happen at 168. It's a lot of young talent there, so it's still young there, but he's able to do what he wants to do because nobody's trying to be great to rival his resume. So he can get away with he's done enough to sit there like he's the Mayweather of this era, the Pacquiao of this era, even though he didn't do what they did. But he's done enough to sit on that throne and dictate boxing because nobody else want to take boxing by the horns and control it and snatch it away from them by being great. Because they're happy with $1 million paydays and $900,000 paydays or $3 million paydays. They happy on being on east side of the streets. And while they beefing and while they in the underworld running around, you know, playing duck goose and eating duck sauce and ducking this guy and saying letting him marinate, Canelo just sitting there like a fat rat building his resume up. Canelo say, look, I fought these dudes ain't even fought Amir Khan type of guy. Look, I fought the best. I got 365 million reasons why I could just cherry pick because people still can come see me. They still not fighting the best. They older than me. Danny Jacobs, Andrade, 30-31. You know, Charlos, 28. You know what I'm saying? They old Lara. He already fought Lara, though. They older than me, but they didn't accomplish what I accomplished. They don't have any marquee fights like me. So why should I move the way I need to move and for the betterment of boxing when, you know, I'm still going to have the best resume? Nobody's daring to be great. So all the boxers around here, you know, are allowing, you know, him to do this. They don't want to fight each other. So guess what? He put the money in the bank already. He like that old worker at the plant They got so much seniority, like he about to get ready to retire. I'm not saying he getting ready to retire, but he got the easy job. He didn't put in so much work. He's just an OG, a young OG. And that's because you don't have none of these dudes fighting around him. There's no reason why Boo Boo and the Charlos didn't fight. Or Boo Boo and Lara didn't fight. Or Lara and Jamel Charlo didn't fight. Because when Boo Boo got stripped of his WBO 154-pound junior middleweight title, and Liam Smith picked up, guess who came back down to 154 pounds and fought Liam Smith for the 154-pound tournament belt that Demetrius Andrade dropped? It was Canelo Alvarez, an opportunist, a cherry picker. Period. Guess who came back down and picked that title? It was him. After sitting at 155 for years, he came back down and picked that title. And didn't nobody say nothing. Ain't nobody saying nothing. You know, he wasn't gonna fight Boo Boo if Boo Boo had that title, no matter how inactive Boo Boo was. But he get a pass because he's Mexican. They built his fan base up on fighting on free TV in Mexico. He's done more than the rest of these dudes. Still to this day, he's done more than them. You know, he gets the ultimate pass. And that's just the way it is. And like I say, man, you know what I'm saying? These dudes got to start fighting each other, man. Man, everybody you gonna sit and wait on him fighting you, man. Your career gonna pass you by. You're gonna be 36 years old, Danny Jacobs, before you get that fight. You know, Charlo got to make a move. You know what I'm saying? He got to win the purse bid, even though he got to put up some of his own money up. They got to win that purse bid, get that belt. Because even if he dropped the WC belt, it's not gonna be no backlash on him. It's not. He can drop that WC belt and defend the Super WA title versus Triple G or Danny Jacobs, whoever wins that fight. It's a potential fight going down between them two. If Triple G comes to the zone. You know, he could drop the Super WA belt and then defend it versus them, and people are not going to bat an eye. You know what I'm saying? But the real boxing fans know that he a whole hoe. We know that. At the end of the day, you can say, oh, Canelo fight anybody, but that's not what it is. That's not what it is. You know, he listened to Oscar, whatever it may be. He extended his Golden Boy contract by 3 more fights, I believe, or something like that. You know, like I say, it's not that. He don't fight any and everybody. Because he fought any and everybody, he would be fighting Charlo. It would be definite he'd be fighting Charlo by May. That'd already be in the works. They already chopped it up, did a deal. He has no intentions on fighting Charlo. That's one of the reasons he went to 55. He didn't want to fight Charlo, Andrade, or none of them. He didn't want Erislandy Lara belt. Before he fought Erislandy Lara at 155 pounds, Lara was able to keep his Super WA belt. He didn't want no parts of those guys down there. Because he knew they were bad style matchups. You know, Canelo only looked good versus stationary targets. People thought Lara beat him. People thought Trout beat him. So you telling me some younger, more aggressive fighters that punch harder than both of them, and Charlo's and Andrade, and they can't beat him? Yes. Canelo's massively overrated. And I said it again, he's massively overrated as a fighter. When it comes to fighting rhythmic, athletic fighters, he can't beat them. Those guys will do what Mayweather did, but in a different way, but they'd be more aggressive with it. And I'm telling you, he get embarrassed. He knows it. Oscar knows it. Everybody knows it. They don't want to admit it. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to admit that. Hey, but y'all know what it is, man. You know, people going to continue to give him a G pass. And I'm going to need brothers to stay on his neck, man. I'm going to need the Puerto Rican brothers to stay on his neck, man. I'm going to see you United Kingdom brothers get on his neck, man. That's why I did this video. Be on his neck. Because if you let this cheater slide, then the next dude behind him going to be able to slide. This shit must stop now. Goodfellas Sports TV. Y'all know what the business is, man. Holding it down one time for the one time. Want to email me? Email in the description. You know, Boxing Clinic, the Boxing Clinic 313 still at Gmail. You know, you want to make a donation, that link